Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us as we announce the conclusion of an investigation that resulted in the arrest of four individuals responsible for an intense crime spree, an organized crime spree that resulted in 93 victims and more than $750,000 in theft and damages. Yes, this is amazing work by our detectives, and this highlights how important it is to nurture those relationships with local law enforcement offices throughout the entire state. But this doesn't happen without Attorney General Uthmeier and the Office of Statewide Prosecution. General Uthmeier, thank you. Thank you for your leadership and your assistance, not just on this case, but so many others that allows us to pursue justice for victims. I appreciate you making the time to join us here today. In May of this year, one of our very diligent detectives of our organized crime task force observed a case that you're observing on the video now, where an individual broke in and damaged the engine compartment of a Freightliner tractor in order to steal the electronic control module, ECM. Why is this so important? The ECM is the computer on any vehicle. You could imagine how critical it is on these complicated and sophisticated tractors that our hardworking tractor owner and operators use to deliver those essential goods that each and every one of us rely on in our community, in our state, and throughout the entire country. So while this tractor was parked at a short-term lot, which there are many around the state, when these tractor operators and owners get some downtime, finally get some time off, they leave them here, these secured facilities. These four individuals would break in to these secure facilities, go in, damage the truck, the engine compartment, to get a hold of these electronic control modules. Now realize we're not talking about surgeons. We're talking to people who want to steal this as quickly as possible to remain undetected. You could imagine the amount of damage that they're doing to every other piece of equipment inside the engine compartment while they're trying to steal and quickly flee the scene of the crime. We talked about $750,000 in theft and damages. That number alone is staggering, 93 victims in 20 cases throughout our county, Lee County, Polk County, and as far north as Duval County. But here's the more egregious part. These hard-working tractor operators that we so heavily rely on. Think about what happens now when the computer, that brain, has been removed. That tractor is inoperable. How about the unrealized gains, the financial loss, the potential earnings? They don't get paid if they're not driving and transporting goods. I shudder to think about the value of the money that they've lost, that their families suffered that income because of these four individuals. Detectives did an amazing job working with Lee County, who had similar cases, and then the race was on. They called Attorney General Uthmeier, reached out to the Office of the Statewide Prosecutor's Office, and I have to tell you, I said that their help was vital. Here's how it was vital. They stood shoulder to shoulder with us as we investigated these crimes with these individuals. They provided us with 25 search warrants and subpoenas to get the evidence that we needed to solidify this case, ultimately resulting in warrants for each of their arrests. These four individuals lived in Palm Beach in the Miami-Dade area. I'd be remiss if I didn't thank the Palm Beach County and Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office for helping us apprehend these four individuals and placing them under arrest. Their crime spree is now officially over. We provided you, all of you, with the information of each individual and all of their charges. All 4 of them are Cuban nationals. They have no legal status in the United States. Every single one of them have a criminal history, some of them more expansive than others. We will also provide that to you as well. I've learned that 3 out of the 4 have immigration holds. 3 of the 4 are here, and the 4th one will be here tomorrow. That's the latest update I have. Again, we will share all that information with you. When I talked about stealing the ECMs, obviously we're all thinking, why would they steal them? What did they do with them? The detectives learned through this process that there's a strong secondary market for ECMs. When they go bad, they can be expensive. Depending on how sophisticated and the model of the tractors, they can sell from $3,000 to $10,000 a piece. These individuals, when the criminal enterprise that they were running or a part of, we've learned that they would take them and sell them to a broker in Texas who would wipe them clean and was able to resell them to someone who was in need. Armed with that information, we have now taken that portion of the investigation, because all of our jurisdictional and authority ends at the Florida state line. We have now turned that over and are cooperating with our federal law enforcement partners. I'm sure it won't be too long before you guys see or learn that there are additional individuals that are going to be charged, and certainly a lot more charges to some individuals as they're now be held accountable. Again, thank you. I see the detectives in the back of the room. Thank you. This happens because you're as diligent and proactive as you are. I'm here to tell you, job well done. Attorney General Uthmeier, to you and the statewide prosecutor's office, I know we were talking about some other cases that were already working and how busy your attorneys are. Thank you for being so diligent. Thank you for being so supportive. It's what allows us, every single county throughout the entire state of Florida, to keep our communities safe. Thank you for all your effort. And with that, sir, I'll turn the podium over to you. Thank you, General.
Thank you for having me, Sheriff. Sheriff Chronister and the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office continue to be very tough on crime, and it's why Tampa has become one of the most sought-out destinations to live in the world. So I think it says a lot when you respect rule of law, when you're tough on crime, when you make examples out of bad actors and hold them accountable. People see that. People want safety, and they want a safe place to raise a family. That's our goal here in Florida. We thrive and strive every day to make sure that we're making this the safest place to raise a family. Here today, again, exemplifies the dangers of an open border policy. You had one individual here on a green card from the Obama era, and then you had 3 individuals that were here illegally. They crossed over into the United States under the Biden administration. They've got criminal records. They shouldn't have been here, and here they are operating this organized scheme to fraud our citizens. And the sheriff talks about, $700,000, but that's only because they busted this ring. If they'd been able to keep going, the victims and the total harm to our society would have continued to increase. So I know collectively, we're going to be bringing charges totaling 139 counts, including RICO, attempted RICO, grand theft, and criminal mischief. So let this be an example to people out there. Leave our citizens alone. When you're engaged in these sophisticated ways to cheat and steal, it shows you got some creativity. There's probably a creative way to go out there and earn a good, honest living, but leave our citizens alone. So we're going to continue to fight crime every single day. I look forward to spending more time with you. And we're going to continue working hard to support the Trump administration and ensure that we have a closed border and that we are detaining and deporting people that should not be here. We'll make sure they serve their time, and then we'll get them back home where they need to be. So, thank you very much.
Thank you, General Uthmeier. At this time, me or the General will attempt to answer any questions you may have.
Sheriff, first of all, if they're from the Palm Beach or Miami area, do you know how and why they chose to come to Hillsborough County or points north of there?
I don't only because I think we have a lot of hardworking truckers that live here. We have a lot of storage facilities where they're able to safely and securely that these owner and operators thought that they could leave their trucks. But again, there was no rationale for what they chose. Being from there, I think they stopped short. It was a short distance away. They stopped in Fort Myers and hit Lee County. I think we were just a natural progression. I think they thought if they stayed in one area too long, they might get caught, so let's spread it out. Again, I commended the detectives, and this was one case. I could have left it at one case. They immediately started seeing that there were 20 cases that matched the same description and the same method of operation that, hey, listen, something's not right here. Let me start reaching out. Let me call Lee County. Hey, can we compare notes? Hey, let's look at this. And as a result, this investigation, these bad guys, their crime spree's over because of their hard work.
Was there a particular tip or something that they spotted that said, hey, these cases might be linked, not just that they're happening, but to these specific people?
Yes, exactly. You heard me once again say thank you to the Office of Statewide Prosecutor and General Uthmeier. They gave us what we needed. They gave us 25 subpoenas and search warrants to go get that information. You see some of the video that we were able to serve a subpoena and get video from a business. Now we started comparing. Now we're able to identify individuals, and the case continued to spin from there.
There's one shot of one of these four people crawling underneath the truck. Can you just give us a little bit more information about
Yeah.
what he's looking for and what he's trying to do there as he gets under that truck?
100% gain access to that electronic control module. They didn't care what it was, that they could go under, over, break something, and they would do whatever it takes to quickly remove that as quickly as they could, keeping the integrity of the ECM intact, but not caring, not one iota of care towards whatever damage they caused to this tractor.
So 3 out of the 4 suspects are here. What's going to happen to them? Are they going to be eventually deported? The one who has the green card could lose it? What's going to happen?
Yeah, that's a great question. That would be a question for the Department of Homeland Security. They have charges here. They have to worry about the charges they face here before they worry about next steps.
How much do those weigh, those parts, the pieces?
They're not very heavy at all, no.
One person could carry.
We all know our computers and how light they are. The modules, well, yeah, they're not heavy. They're accessible enough where one person could easily carry it. Multiple people, because everyone could find a way in. Who's the quickest to find a way in and damage whatever you had to get that ECM out tactfully?
And how much is one sold for, worth, and then sold for?
Another great question. Depending on how sophisticated and what model the tractor is, anywhere from $3,000 to $10,000. Quite expensive.
Any other questions?
Are they corporate trucks? I mean, are the trucks owned by corporate owners, or are they owned by private citizens doing work? Or?
Good question. Most of them private. You know, corporate would park their trucks back in a corporate yard. These are owners, a lot of owner operators. And again, the more egregious part of this crime is not the damage, not the theft. It's the fact that they're out of work. They don't make money when the trucks are sitting. And that's what makes this crime so horrible and egregious. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day.